Hey, what's up? It's Jake from Nimbus DevOps, and this is a quick down and dirty on Kubernetes schedulers. So a scheduler's job is basically to make sure that a pod has a node to run on. It does that by going over a couple different steps. So the first thing it does is it looks at all the nodes and it determines which nodes are feasible. Feasibility just means, can the node support whatever the pod is doing? So does it have enough memory or CPU to do whatever the container requirements are? This is also known as filtering. The next step is scoring. Scoring is where the scheduler looks at all the remaining nodes that are feasible and it determines through a scoring system which nodes have the highest score. Whatever node has the highest score is chosen and that pod is then scheduled on that node. In the event that there's a tie, the scheduler will just pick a random node. At a high level, that's basically it. That's all you need to know. I'm going to do a quick little demo to show you some little ins and outs on where to find information about the nodes in the scheduler. So let's take a look at my Minikube cluster. If I do a get all in all namespaces, we can see that in the kube system namespace, the Minikube has a scheduler. So you need to look in the kube system namespace in order to find the scheduler, unless you have some sort of custom scheduler in a different namespace. But this is where you're going to find it. In this case, it's Minikube, but in a different cluster, it would be called something else. So let's get our nodes next. And you can see here I have one node named Minikube. So if I were to create a Nginx pod, now we have a container created, and if we describe this we have a pod created. If we describe this pod, we can see toward the top here that the node it's on is the Minikube node. If this didn't have a node, it would be stuck in a pending state. So if you ever find yourself, we can actually demo that right now. Let's create a file. But if you ever find yourself in a situation where your container is stuck in a pending state, double check that your scheduler has actually done that. Another way to tell is when you're describing your pod, you'll see in the events at the end that the first thing it does is the default scheduler in this case is going to try to assign the pod to a node. So what happens if it doesn't have a node? Like I said, it'll get stuck in this pending state, and this is what that might look like. All right, now if we vi the redis.yaml, we'll see here that there's no specification for the node name is what under spec it would be called. It would be called the node name. And we can see here that if you don't specify the node, it's just going to assign it, the scheduler is going to assign it to the node that's available. Okay, so if we do a kubectl delete redis, and this time, let's specify one. So I'm going to put node name, and let's just put fake node. Okay. Now, if we create this, it says it's created, but if I do a kubectl get pods, we can see here it's stuck in this pending state. And if we do a describe, what's going to happen? You can see here the node says fake nodes, so it's assigned to that, and there's no promise or anything here. So in this case, it actually tries to assign it here incorrectly, and it's stuck in a pending state. I wish it wouldn't do that, but it does do that. But this is just to demonstrate that if you're stuck in a pending state, that could be why. So you can see here I'm stuck in a pending state. So anyways, that's a quick down and dirty on the Kube scheduler. If you have any questions, let me know. But if not, my name is Jake. I'm from Nimbus DevOps, and I am learning Kubernetes.